Every year, thousands of non-resident Indians lose crores of rupees in fraudulent land deals across India. Several reports suggest that nearly 60% of NRI property disputes is the result of lack of due diligence, where 30% result from sellers who had no legal right to the property ended up selling it in the first place. What makes it even worse is that this financial disaster could have been prevented with the proper legal precautions. Unlike many countries where property transactions are straightforward, India's land laws are intricate, they're complex. There are numerous regulatory layers. So in this video, I'm going to discuss 5 critical questions that my clients keep asking me. These are the most common questions and answers also. I'm sure it's going to help you. What is the first step as an NRI you should be taking before buying land in India? Second, which key documents must as an NRI you should verify while buying land? Third, what types of land NRIs are allowed to buy or there is a restriction, which is permissible and which is not permissible. Fourth, why should an NRI visit the land before buying and what they should be looking for? Fifth, what financial and legal precautions must NRIs follow while using NRI funds to buy the land? If you are new to this channel, I am CS Keerthana. I have completed SEMA from UK. I am an AMFI registered overseas MFT. I am also SCA registered in UAE. I run the consultancy, a firm which is specialized in NRI services. Now let's start with the question number 1. What is the first step as an NRI you should be taking before buying land in India? Before you even think about making that offer, you need to be smart. Get independent legal opinions at least from 2 lawyers. The builder or seller may refer some lawyer. You never know what is the inside story that they are having. So always go for 2 independent opinions. You may spend some money on this, but think this is your insurance policy against possible fraud. Why 2 opinions? Because a single lawyer might miss something, have some conflicts of interest, or simply there may be some human error. 2 independent legal opinions or searches, these can create safety net that is really impossible for any fraudster to penetrate. These advocates should provide a signed and detailed report on the property title, examining its legal standing and complete history. But just a legal paper verification is not enough. You must visit the property personally, even if you have seen it in online or through video calls. During this visit, please examine the surroundings carefully, assess the potential threats and the opportunities that you might have in the future. After that, dig little deeper into the documents. That brings me to the second question. What are the key documents that as an NRI you should be verifying while purchasing the property? When it comes to land documents, there is no such thing like, a particular checklist. You need to trace property's history like a detective investigating a case. For purchasing land in India, an NRI must undertake a comprehensive verification of all legal documents. It is essential to verify at least 30 years of title deeds. These are called mother documents, which may extend even 50 years to track the original title depending on some specific cases. I know it's not easy, but this is the only one way to ensure that no previous owner had any outstanding claims on your future property. Simultaneously, obtain minimum 30 years EC or encumbrance certificate from the sub-registrar's office. See, this EC, this document reveals all transactions related to the property and it helps to identify any red flags in its history. Here is very important point that you should be remembering. The seller must possess the original documents, and if they don't, this could indicate some hidden problems like undisclosed lands or equitable mortgages which are on that title deeds, which probably is not registered but the right exists. If previous transactions involved a GPA, general power of attorney, then you have to be verifying this also. Don't forget The common but the most important critical paperwork, up-to-date tax receipts, revenue records, and for certain properties, documents like khata records, including e-khata, and in case if it is in the panchayat jurisdiction, then 911 records, and single site approval of the land. These might seem like technicalities, but they are what stand between you and future legal headaches. And remember, the type of document required may change depending on the property that you are purchasing. So this is just for you to have a brief idea, not the complete checklist. That brings me to the third question. What type of lands are NRIs restricted from buying and what is permitted for them? The law is really clear on this. NRIs have restriction. They are prohibited from purchasing agricultural properties, plantations, farmhouses because FEMA rules just don't allow this. This is not just a suggestion, but it is a legal requirement that could land you in serious trouble if you have violated these provisions. I know in India, many sellers are trapping NRIs with the purchase of agricultural land, but strictly stay away from it because if you are running this FEMA violations, then it can be really a costly mistake. But remember, there are some exceptions. If you have compelling reasons like agricultural land is a part of family partition or it is adjacent to the property that you are inheriting, then you can seek some specific permission from Reserve Bank of India. But this process, of course, it will take a lot of time, documentation and patience. Next, NRIs pay an important attention to the zoning regulations. Your intended use must match the land's designated zone. If you are planning to build a house on industrial zoned land, then that's the recipe for problem. If you want to start a business or in a residentially zoned property, you will face legal challenges. If you are purchasing properties near river or coastline, then also it is critical to verify coastal regulation zone or CRZ clearances and understand what is permissible construction limit based on the specific zone categories. There may be zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. So you should be understanding what is a particular regulation which is applicable because different zones, they have different construction limitations and violating this can result in the demolition order. And you will end up paying a lot of penalties also. So check all this before the purchase. That brings me to one common mistake NRIs always make while buying land. I have seen many people, doing this. I strongly recommend that you visit the land and you inspect. This brings me to our fourth question. Why should an NRI visit the land before making a purchase? Or if they visit also, then what they should be looking for? Why? What is there for inspection? In our digital age, it is tempting to rely on virtual property tours or online listings. Especially when you are abroad, it becomes really hard to visit physically, right? So, it may work in places like Dubai, but when it comes to India, land purchases in India, there is no substitute for ground inspection. This is absolutely critical for NRIs to personally visit the land before you are buying it, even you have seen it through websites or online or through video calls also. This direct physical verification always will allow you to take an assessment of the factor that are not apparent when you are observing from remote places. For instance, you can inspect the surrounding of the property, verify any vastu compliances or if it is near any lake which is violative of certain zonal regulations. These are all individual considerations. A physical visit always reveals that no video can technically capture the true condition of the surrounding and the potential drainage issues or actual boundaries. Most critically, even for vacant land, the topography of the land. Understanding the terrain is not only important for estimating the development cost but also to gauge fair valuation. It can give you direct indications that you or your lawyers to ask for some relevant documents if you need further. After all, these legal and physical verification, if you're still happy with the purchase, then what you're planning to make, it will add value. It will not invite future headaches. When you proceed, you need to get the proper answer for the final and the fifth question. What is financial and legal precautions every NRI must follow while using this NRI funds to buy the land? Here is where many NRIs make some costly mistakes also. They try to hide their NRI status and they route it from their saving banks or through others. The consequences can be severe, including penalties under income tax or FEMA and other criminal charges also. NRIs must exercise significant financial and disclosure precautions. Disclose it, including your NRI status. It is crucial for NRIs to be truthful about their NRI status from day number one. All sale proceeds, whether received at the time of agreement or in stages or during registration, it should be deposited into NRO, non-resident ordinary account if you are selling anything, and not in your ordinary saving banks account, not to SB but NRO. If an individual is NRI and they are required to convert their ordinary savings into NRO account, hiding NRI status or crediting the funds to ordinary SB account can lead to serious repercussions. And you will definitely be inviting a lot of penalties that you never intended, because there is a concealment, there is misrepresentation, right? If you are selling property as an NRI, understand that buyers are legally obliged to deduct TDS because it is buyer's responsibility from rupee number 1. To reduce this TDS burden, in case if it is required, you may apply for lower TDS or nil certificate to the jurisdictional assessing officer, and the process may take roughly 30 to 60 days, necessitating a planned 90-day time gap between sale agreement and the registration. During your financial transactions, maintain all the records properly. I hope I could throw light on the most important aspects that as an NRI you should be focusing while making property purchases in India. See you with another interesting video next week. Till then, bye-bye.